Good afternoon. I want to thank everybody for coming today and for being a part of this. I know we've done a lot of introductions. There will be a few more throughout the address today. But I can't tell you what an honor it is to come and to serve as your mayor, to be the mayor of Greenwood. It's been such a pleasure. And even before I get started with the state of the city, I will just tell you that I have the most amazing team of employees in the state of Indiana. We wouldn't be where we're at today without them. People give me the credit for what goes on, but I got to tell you, it has to do with the 250 people that work for this city that make it a great place to live, work, and play every day. So I want to thank them for what they do. They're an amazing group, and give them all a round of applause if you would, please. You know, as I become mayor, I continue to be humbled by the commitment and the dedication of my fellow citizens. And I promise you that it pushes me to do the best job that I can every single day. But I want to begin today with each one of us asking ourselves a question. What are my motivations? What inspires me? What gets me up in the morning and keeps me going late into the evening? You know, these days we hear a lot about disagreement, about division, about what separates us. But I think that if you ask these people around here, their answers would be with a more similar theme. Faith, family, and community. And I can tell you that as the steward of our community, I'm motivated by the responsibility to carry the torch for my hometown's founding spirit, pride and progress. Pride in what makes Greenwood an exceptional place to live, work, and play, and progress towards an even brighter future. While preparing this address, my seventh State of the City address, I was struck by how much things have changed over the past 6 years. In 2012, I stood before you to propose difficult but necessary changes to save Greenwood from financial disaster. Today, we're enjoying a strategic resurgence and choosing among several attractive options to improve quality of life for our residents. Look at what we've been able to accomplish, and the most exciting part is we've only just begun. So I want to thank you for all of your hard work. It's truly an honor to serve you as the mayor of Greenwood, and I thank you. I'd also like to thank Indiana Secretary of State Connie Lawson for attending today's event. It's quite an honor for me to have her here. I'd also like to thank Christian Mislowski and Christian Alfieri, the Vala Vista Conference Center, Chuck, and the entire Greater Greenwood Chamber of Commerce staff and board of directors for hosting this event. It's such an honor to have all of you here today. The city and the chamber's strong partnership continues to drive economic growth and cultivate an environment where companies feel welcome and supported. And finally, I want to recognize all of the common councilors in the attendance, as well as our city board and commission members. If you would all stand, please, and be recognized. Common councilors and board members and commission. I'd also like to publicly recognize all of my department heads and city employees. If all of you would stand, please. I know that we have other elected officials with us that Christian has announced. I want to thank them, especially my cohort in crime, Steve Barnett, the mayor of Franklin, for being here and joining us today. So thank you to those elected officials who are here today. Now, if you've attended one of these events in the past, you know I like to go straight to the finances and to Greenwood's bottom line. Our city continues to be a model for what's possible, giving a strategic and conservative fiscal approach. At the end of 2011, this one? Okay, I just died. At the end of 2011, Greenwood's rainy day fund reserve balance was $1.68 million. Today, the city's rainy day balance is more than $2.47 million. In 2012, my team inherited an annual budget deficit of nearly $2 million. We were on the course to burn through Greenwood savings in about 18 months. This past year, we presented the Common Council with a balanced budget for the 6th year in a row. In 2012, Greenwood earned a startling $2,600 on an investment balance of just $3.6 million. This past year, we earned more than $113,000 on investments totaling more than $16.7 million. Our budgeting process and financial disclosures continue to stand out among municipalities across the state. And I'm proud to announce that for the 4th year in a row, our finance department is being honored with the Certificate of Excellence for Excellence in Financial Reporting from the Government Finance Officers Association. Fiscal responsibility always has and always will be a hallmark of this administration. A strong balance sheet keeps our taxes low, yet allows for smart, strategic public investment. 1 year ago, I presented a vision for the future of our city, a vision founded upon preserving and revitalizing Greenwood's core, a commitment to our history and the authenticity that makes Greenwood unique. And I'm proud to report that we've been making excellent progress. We kicked off 2017 by a completely reimagined community center. The facility continues to wow visitors on a daily basis, and visitation, revenue, and membership figures have blown away even the most hopeful estimates. In 2015, the community center had roughly 620 members. Today, that number is more than 2,000 and continues to grow by about 100 new memberships each month. Visitation is up more than 35%, and the total revenue has more than doubled, going from $250,000 a year to $530,000 a year. In March, we unveiled a transformational vision for the downtown, including a once-in-a-lifetime development potential for the 19-acre former Greenwood Middle School property. And I have to say, this could not have happened without a great relationship between the city and the school corporation, and especially Dr. DeConnick. He has done an amazing job. You know, the proposal of this redevelopment includes about 450 apartments, 130 townhomes, more than 75,000 square feet of office and retail space, a repurposed gymnasium, and nearly 10 acres of new or upgraded green space. And if you haven't had a chance to view the plans on the touchscreen, I'd encourage you to do so before you leave. We'll have staff outside to demonstrate it as well. I have to tell you, it's really cool, so you got to try it out. Those plans include improvements to downtown's traffic and parking problems, many of which are already in the works, including a roundabout at Smith Valley Road and Madison Avenue. And here's an odd fact I just learned. If you go to your Apple Maps, it already shows it. You'll get lost. We have an additional new turn lane at Meridian and Main Streets, a new connector road between Serena Way and Market Plaza, and in partnership with Our Lady of the Greenwood Catholic Church, more than 160 new parking spaces in the heart of downtown. And if you haven't noticed, our downtown is even more walkable than ever. In 2017, we completed the Pleasant Creek Trail extension, providing a connection between the Old City Park, the Greenwood Amphitheater, the Community Center, and Craig Park. We announced big changes for Madison Avenue as well. An evolution of the corridor as a walkable experience with widened, safer sidewalks, a bike lane, decorative pedestrian lighting, and improved streetscapes. Our GROW program continues to spur renovation along Greenwood's most traveled corridors, increasing property values and generating even greater commercial interest. Our city's core offers a rich history, attractive to younger generations of professionals and families who value character and tradition. The type of character that warrants a designation on the National Register of Historic Places, another significant milestone for Old Town Greenwood in 2017. And while downtown has been a major focus, last year the city pursued a diversity of projects and initiatives impacting every square inch of Greenwood. In 2017, we added more than 16 acres of green space, the first time Greenwood has done so since 2010, and the largest increase since the addition of Freedom Park in 2005. We announced Grassy Creek Park as well, Greenwood's first new park in more than a decade. The city's new recycling program went into effect January 1, and the response exceeded all expectations. We've gone from 5,700 participating households to over 9,000. This past year, Greenwood collected more than 2,000 tons of recycling, a 32% increase over 2016. More recycling and less trash means we can maintain lower rates for all of our citizens. And continue the spirit of being environmentally friendly, our utilities team is working to get as many folks as possible to switch to electronic billing for their sanitary sewer, waste management, and stormwater billing accounts. In 2017, an electronic billing increased by more than 56%. In our Find It, Fix It program, an effort to reduce the strain on Greenwood's sanitary sewer system, generated more than 550 bill credits for citizens showing their compliance with sump pump and downspout connections. We're revamping Emerson Avenue to maximize the corridor's commercial potential. The boulevard feel will have tree-lined medians, decorative lighting, a 10-foot multi-use trail. We're currently in the design phase and hope to have construction start soon this year. Now, some of you may have seen our next slide, but before those who haven't, I want to be the first to show you Greenwood's new wayfinding signage. We've incorporated the city's popular new identity into what will be an informative, consistent wayfinding program. You may have even driven by one of our test locations already. Expect to see the installation beginning early this year as well. And all this while Greenwood continues to have one of the lowest per capita budgets and workforces in Indiana. I'm amazed at what our lean operations is able to accomplish. It speaks of the character of our public servants and the hard work you put in each and every day. And I'm going to continue to ask a great deal of you because I know that you're all up for the challenge. To reach our goals, we must continue pushing on all sides. Proactive investment and support for economic development opportunities. Preemptive public safety efforts to address the worsening opioid crisis, including the increases of crime it's brought into our community. Necessary upgrades and maintenance of our infrastructure, and the quality of life amenities that retain and attract happy, productive citizens. As many of you know, I believe there are 4 pillars to Greenwood's success: public safety, infrastructure, quality of life, and economic development. Triumphs in these 4 areas generate community pride while providing the foundation for our progress. Let's look at these 4 pillars, the progress we've made in each area, and some of the exciting things that we have planned for 2018. We can't sit back and relax because there is still so much to achieve. My first pillar is public safety. And with my background in public safety, I understand the challenges when trying to keep our city safe. The men and women of both our police and fire departments are heroic beyond description, and they place our lives above theirs in a daily mission to serve and to protect this community. Thank you for all you do. You truly are Greenwood's finest. Last year, we took several steps to maintain safety and improve public safety. We completed Greenwood's signal preemption project, installing state-of-the-art technology into the traffic signals across the city. The technology works with emergency vehicles to create a safer travel scenario for all drivers. We purchased the police training facility, creating significant long-term savings. And Greenwood's fire department now has a full-time EMS chief, an important role as we continue to train our first responders and plan for the many scenarios these brave men and women face every day. 2018 will be an exciting year for our law enforcement as well, as we celebrate the opening of Greenwood's modernized Justice Center, the home of the police headquarters, our city court, our probation department, and our city clerk's office. The renovation is moving along as planned, and actually it's ahead of schedule, and with completion planned for early this spring. We'll also purchase land and design a new fire station to replace our aging Station 93. And while these projects provide the improved public safety infrastructure, the number of police officers and firefighters in Greenwood continues to be much smaller than what best practices recommend. For Greenwood to succeed, our city must first be safe. And you know, I'm deeply disturbed by the forces that continue to prevent Greenwood from having a level of public safety personnel proportional to its size and its growing population. Since the beginning of this administration, we've only been able to add 10 new police officers, which has done little to alleviate the staff woefully below state and national averages. All of us are now painfully aware of the opioid crisis before us. To properly impact this devastating epidemic, Greenwood must be proactive. We must enact measures to increase prevention, because once a person becomes addicted, they become much more harder to reach and much more likely to commit a crime. Many communities around our state have been granted the permission to enact a food and beverage tax for various purposes. For the last 4 years, I've fought for Greenwood's ability to institute such a tax. I've gone on record multiple times clearly stating that such funding would solely be used for public safety and giving our citizens the safety and the protection we deserve. I'm confident in today's audience includes officials with the responsibility and the authority to see such a measure through. Please know that I'm speaking directly to you when I say Greenwood needs more police officers. The opioid crisis has brought with it a wave of increased criminal activity, and our city is not properly equipped or staffed to combat it. Our second pillar is infrastructure. I've always said that infrastructure is the most important community issue that gets the least amount of attention. Given Greenwood's recent and future growth, we must dedicate particular focus and strategic investment towards the critical public assets. And our administration has done just that. We're paving more roads, adding miles of trails, and laying groundwork for the largest public works project in Greenwood's history. We're upgrading the city's technology and making sure to take care of our most important natural resource, water. Let's start with technology. It's an area that's not often associated with infrastructure. However, like roads, sewers, and electrical grids, Greenwood's technology infrastructure needs to be updated to meet the needs of our citizens in this digital age. And considering the city employees were still using typewriters in 2011, I'd say this is an area where some of the most dramatic improvements have already happened. Sorry. That still kills me. During snow events, anyone in the city can now monitor online and in real time what roads had been plowed, what roads are being plowed, and what roads are next to be plowed. Our plow drivers receive instructions and report all of their progress digitally. Last year we launched a new and improved online payment portal for the stormwater utility. We updated the in-office technology as well, giving citizens the ability to walk in and pay their utility bill with a credit card. I'm pleased to announce that in 2018, Greenwood will launch an exciting new software program to modernize our permitting process for development projects. The digital transformation will create significant efficiencies and allow our staff to accommodate our progressively active development and construction market. And the last thing I'll say about technology is that I hope everyone is connected to the city via our city webpage and our social media networks. I want to congratulate the many staff who contribute to making sure these digital properties are always engaging and informative. I especially appreciate the spirited debate among fellow citizens, a great sign that it's an active interest in our community and its well-being. Not that it's controversial. In 2017, we tackled a number of more traditional infrastructure projects as well. We opened Greenwood's third major roundabout at Smith Valley Road and Yorktown Road. And as I mentioned, another roundabout is planned this summer for Madison Avenue and Smith Valley Road. And we're in the early planning stages for our seventh at Main Street and Yorktown Road. My staff is leading an effort in the number of improvements to Stop 18, including widening it just west of US 31. The project includes pedestrian connectivity and a dedicated right turn lane. After several years of lagging behind in recommended paving schedules, we're using Greenwood's strong financial schedules to fund an accelerated pace. We're catching up to where we need to be, and we're paving more streets than ever. And once we pave our streets, we make sure they stay clean. In 2017, the city collected more than 443 tons of debris during street sweeping. That's more than 2 tons of debris for every mile of road in the city. And we're able to do this thanks to our strategic equipment upgrades spanning across various departments, another benefit of having a solid, balanced sheet. And if you don't want to take advantage of Greenwood's ever-expanding trail system, I have to say you're missing out on something special. Earlier I mentioned the latest addition, the extension of the Pleasant Creek Trail from the Old City Park into the Greenwood Amphitheater to Serena Square and into Craig Park. We completed the Main Street Trail too, finishing that final connection near East Street, where Rob Taggart spent 5 years beating his head against a brick wall to get it done. With Greenwood becoming even more connected, we must always be considerate of the many ways our citizens travel. So in 2017, our staff installed or reconstructed more than 60 ADA ramps throughout the city, and we'll continue to ensure Greenwood's accessibility for all. And moving from land to water, I have to say it's been quite a year for the city's stormwater department. First, our staff secured a $1 million federal grant to assist in the removal of several homes located in a floodway. We acted on the benefit of the property owners needing to exit the floodway while still receiving a fair value for their homes. We're in the process of removing other at-risk structures as well, and we're applying for additional grant money to provide relief to even more property owners. Last September, I was pleased to help unveil the department's new stormwater testing lab and nature center. The facility is teaching environmental stewardship to our future caretakers of this planet, and we must give them the information and the tools to assume that responsibility. We also know the limitations of the teachers' budgets, so we made it free. And it's not just for students. The Nature Center is open to any member of the public who wants to learn more about the benefits of clean water and sustainability. The department managed several very important construction projects as well, including a 2-stage ditch along Honey Creek Road, the transformation of a roadside detention pond into a full-on nature preserve, complete with birdhouses, prairie grasses, and native trees. And then finally, partnering with a local school, they were able to plant more than 220 trees to shield it from the Worstville Road lift station. It's no wonder why our stormwater staff continues to field requests for presentations to state and national conferences. With a full slate of projects planned, we expect another productive year. And turning to Greenwood's sanitary sewer utility, the city continues to make progress on the massive Western Regional Interceptor. Design for the 10-mile interceptor is expected to be finished by the end of the year. And in the meantime, we continue the lengthy process to acquire all easements and rights-of-way. The Western Regional Interceptor is desperately needed to alleviate the current sanitary sewer system backup and to accommodate the additional strain and future growth will create. It'll provide a much-needed relief to the entire system. It'll be channeling as much as 7 to 9 million gallons of wastewater daily from the Pleasant Run Interceptor, which is currently operating at or near capacity in some areas. An important piece of the city's sanitary sewer puzzle involves ongoing negotiations with Citizens Energy Group, the owners of the treatment plant servicing Greenwood's wastewater. The company continues a crusade to raise our treatment rates, and this administration will continue to fight Citizens and make sure that it abides by the agreement we currently have in place. When I speak with other Indiana mayors about the progress we've made towards our third pillar, quality of life, it's usually hard for me to contain my enthusiasm. In 2011, there was no Freedom Springs, no splash pad. Greenwood didn't have a play pocket, let alone a trail of many play pockets, and there was no city center park. Now, with the completion of our reimagined community center, I challenge any other similar-sized city to present their case for a more impactful offering of public entertainment assets. Our summer concert series is more popular than ever, welcoming record crowds in 2017. Last year also marked the inaugural season for the new summer movie series, an instant hit among our area residents. We made improvements to the areas surrounding the amphitheater as well, and provided greater connectivity via expanded trails. Freedom Festival continues to be a massive draw, and even more so last year as we were treated to such beautiful weather. We're trying hard to keep up with the demand at Freedom Springs Park, adding 65 additional parking spaces for this upcoming season. We continue adding features, installing a new drop side that's already ready for our 2018 season. And finally, Greenwood is quickly approaching 300 acres of parkland and will soon construct the city's 15th park, Grassy Creek Park. And I'd like to see us eclipse that milestone soon. Did you catch that, Rob? Okay. In addition, the National Non-for-Profit made things official by honoring Greenwood as a Playful City USA designation. Playful USA recognizes cities and towns across the country for creating play spaces and programming to engage local youth through their play. Our strategy to rejuvenate Greenwood's core centers on quality of life improvements as well. Walkability, improved aesthetics, connectivity, local boutiques, restaurants, and green spaces. These community attributes are critically important for attracting both today's professionals and our future generation of residents. And speaking of future generations, I believe we need to do a much better job of including our youth in local government. How can we expect our youth to become informed, engaged citizens if we don't encourage their participation in the civic process? To me, this is very much a quality of life issue as well. And not being one to let ideas sit on the shelf, last month I launched the Mayor's Youth Council with 19 students from the Greenwood Community High School. I'm really looking forward to our meetings and our sessions, and I wouldn't be surprised if they end up teaching me more than I can teach them. Our final pillar comes today on economic development. And I got to tell you folks, this area really excites me. This is one of the best parts of my job and possibly my favorite outcome for everyone's hard work since the administration came into office in 2012. Economic interest in our city has never been higher, and I cannot express to you the amount of pride I feel when a potential investor into our community explains to me why Greenwood. Some say it's the schools, others say it's the safe, welcoming atmosphere. Many highlight our available land and our proximity to one day's drive to 75% of our country. The city that once had a difficult time generating any interest in commercial development is now able to be selective about which companies can receive tax abatements using proposed wages as a barometer. It's also remarkable that we've gotten this far without mentioning the Fortune 100 company planning to make one of the largest corporate investments in Greenwood's history. In October, FedEx announced its plans to build a $260 million distribution center. The 600 square foot facility will encompass nearly 240 acres and employ 450 people with good paying jobs. It's a huge win for our community and the group of individuals responsible for generating commercial activity in Greenwood. We also welcome Nugistics, a division of Pitney Bowes, the national distribution company that plans to open a new center in a 450 square foot facility at the intersections of Allen and Graham Roads. Nugistics says it intends to hire more than 200 employees and invest millions in a high-tech machinery for their site. We're supporting entrepreneurial growth as well, supporting and assisting with the 2017 launch of Greenhouse, Greenwood's co-working space, designed to support our Southside innovators, freelancers, and those just wanting to expand their professional network. And while development often involves construction, in some cases, a blank slate really is best strategy. So in 2017, our redevelopment commission purchased the longtime eyesore located at 1265 North Madison Avenue. Thank you. As you all know, this property is right across the street from the Greenwood Park Mall, which is a major destination for our residents and visitors, and it's also one of the first things you see when you're traveling south into downtown. The former strip mall is now being studied for several potential uses to enhance one of the city's most traveled corridors. And our administration has also been working with common councilors and certain board members to begin overhauling Greenwood's zoning code. There is a ton of work to do on this front, but we will hope to have new standards in place by the end of the year. And no discussion of economic development is complete without mentioning our Indy South Greenwood Airport. The airport continues to be a major asset for our community, and airport staff continue their hard work and to accommodate the steady traffic of very diverse clientele. And I'm also pleased to report that at this time the airport is fully leased with a waiting list. Now, as many of you noticed, I have a special guest with me today. And although I'd like to think that the Secretary of State, Connie Lawson, came to hear this speech, we actually have a very exciting announcement to make in just a minute. In a minute, I'm going to invite a few folks up to the podium. But first, I'd like to provide you with one more example of Greenwood's leading the South Side's resurgence. As we begin another year of this administration, I'd like to state what are my motivations, what inspires me, what gets me up in the morning and keeps me going late into the evening. Citing Greenwood's family-friendly atmosphere, low housing prices, and excellent park system, Money Magazine named Greenwood as one of the best places to live in America in 2017. So, pride and progress. That's what it's all about. Ladies and gentlemen, it's year 7. Let's get to work. Thank you.
Well, thank you all, and it is a pleasure, certainly a pleasure to be here. And I just had a couple of observations about Mayor Myers' speech. First of all, it's obvious that his love and passion for the city of Greenwood is alive and well, and it's the reason that drives him. But also, I can tell that his vision and his dedication and his hard work has made Greenwood a wonderful place to live and a strong city. And I can say that strong cities are very, very important to the state of Indiana. It's not just about Indianapolis. It's not just about the rural areas of our state. It's about strong cities, and the way Mayor Myers has run this city has really made all of us proud. And that's why I am very, very excited. Mayor Myers mentioned that we have a special announcement to make. And in his speech, he mentioned the permitting process for businesses. And in Indiana, we have a data system called INBIZ, INBIZ.in.gov. And we've been talking with the city of Greenwood for almost 2 years now, and we finally have agreed that there is a way that the state of Indiana can help Greenwood with this permitting process. So, on behalf of the entire INBIZ team, including Governor Holcomb and Lieutenant Governor Crouch, Department of Revenue Commissioner Adam Krupp, and Department of Workforce Development Commissioner Fred Payne, and Indiana Professional Licensing Agency Director Debbie Fry, I am excited to announce our first partnership with the city. It's the City of Greenwood. Yeah. And it is no surprise that my friend Mayor Myers and the City of Greenwood are leading the way in the state to deliver business-friendly services and allowing businesses to be more efficient. And it is clear that this South Side resurgence the mayor talked passionately about in his very inspiring words today is real. I'm hearing the same thing in the halls of the State House and among my legislator friends. And how fitting it is to announce this at a chamber event. Thank you, Christian, for pulling this great community together with the leaders and the business minds that you have here, and also for your leadership in the Indiana Chambers Executives Association. Chambers are such an important advocates for our businesses in Indiana, and I am thrilled to have such a strong partner in this effort. This partnership between INBIZ and the City of Greenwood secures the notion that we are a business-focused state. But of course, as Hoosiers, we will never rest on our laurels. The INBIZ team will continue to streamline the process for individuals starting, managing, and growing their businesses. INBIZ is the state of Indiana's one-stop resource for registering and managing your business and ensuring that it complies with state laws and regulations. From registering your business's name to filing required paperwork, INBIZ provides an expedited process for your business needs. And we are so excited to include this permitting part of INBIZ. From the launch of INBIZ in 2016 till today, we have expanded our services exponentially from offerings from the Secretary of State's office, and then we added other agencies such as the Department of Workforce Development and the Department of Revenue, and then later the Indiana Professional Licensing Agency. And this progress will continue through 2018. We'll be seeing services from the Office of the Attorney General and more services from the Indiana Professional Licensing Agency added on as well in just a few short months. And new businesses, we know, are one of our driving forces behind Indiana's economy. And it's our mission to do everything that we can to support them by making it easier to do business with the state. More than a decade ago now, Indiana became a leader in business services when it began offering filings online. Well, INBIZ is a modernized system that enables businesses to open their doors faster. And we are so excited to embark on this new partnership with the City of Greenwood today as we continue to expand our services through INBIZ to Hoosiers across the entire state. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Madam Secretary. You probably heard enough from me today, so I'm going to be incredibly short. Secretary Lawson and her team have done a tremendous job with the InBiz portal, and I couldn't be more proud for Greenwood to serve as the first municipal partner. It's a sign of our city's continued momentum, a sign that recognizes the opportunities that our community offers. And I'd like to give special thanks to our Johnson County Development Corporation and their staff, their leadership, to help as well. Working together, we've been able to accomplish quite a bit, and I can't wait to see what's next. Mr. Tilson.
Thank you, Mayor. Good afternoon. Thank you, Mayor, for all that you're doing. Thank you, Secretary Lawson. Certainly appreciate all that's happening. It's my pleasure to stand before you. I guess, going off script, how many people, show of hands, have been online and used InBiz? For those who haven't, get out there. As a Greenwood native and someone who sees the struggle of small to mid-sized business owners and the struggles they face each day working with government compliance, and trust me, I know my business, we operate in 50 states across the country, and we deal with compliance in 50 states. InBiz is the easiest tool out there. And so Indiana is leading the way. And for my business and what we do in compliance, this is an outstanding tool. And that's part of the reason I believe they reached out to me, along with other business owners across the state, because I was asked to weigh in on the development of the portal and to give them my day in, day out reaction to the tools. And by engaging business owners like myself, they listen to us. They listen to the end consumer, and they delivered a great product, and they continue to. In fact, one of the leads on the project said to me earlier as I walked in, he said, "Brent, every time we're working on this, we ask, well, what would Brent want?" So I'm glad that they continue to ask, really not about what I want, but what does the consumer want? What does the business community need? And trust me, it's a very valuable tool. And in my 25 years in business, I've seen the process of starting and managing a business become very cumbersome and sometimes overwhelming for businesses. In today's world, businesses are forming at such a rapid pace, it's imperative that the state keep up and to encourage that growth. And that's exactly what InBiz does. Now, I've been excited to be a part of the collaboration between the multiple state agencies through the inception and the expansion of InBiz. And it is really, really working. For my staff to be able to go out and have the coordination of all the agencies makes it very easy for us to do business in the state of Indiana. And today, it was great pride that I stand before you and the Secretary and the Mayor, and as we take another step forward in Greenwood and we become the first municipality to partner with InBiz. Now, this is further demonstrating Indiana's commitment to starting and growing businesses in the state at every level of government. Indiana is interested in our resources needed to drive business forward. And now, I'd like to introduce my friend, Christian. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Brent. Thank you, Secretary Lawson. Thank you, Mayor Myers. This is an exciting time in Greenwood, and we look forward to continued partnership. The Chamber priorities include making Greenwood a business-friendly city. We've been working with the city on streamlining government business services and partnering with the Secretary's already proven and successful platform means that businesses can open and grow in Greenwood with greater ease, access, and speed. And so the Chamber is proud to help bring this partnership to fruition, and we can't wait to see the results. So let's please all thank one more time Secretary Lawson for joining us today. And another heartfelt thanks to Mayor Myers for his leadership in the city. Just a couple quick housekeeping items. Please, folks, don't forget to register for our Chamber Day at the State House on February 13th. You can do that in the Pride and Progress Room, where you can also learn more about today's announcement. So there'll be more information on your way out. Again, thank you, Mayor Myers, Secretary Lawson. Thanks to everyone joining us online. And thank you to you, our members and our attendees. I am very grateful that you choose to be a part of this special community of engaged, confident business leaders. Thank you so much and enjoy your day.